Top 25 preview up today for the 2018 college football season, and as usual, there's some pretty good games involving ranked teams and some potential upsets this week. Of course, we got West Virginia on the road at Texas. You got Notre Dame on the road at Northwestern, Penn State on the road at Michigan. Those are three of the biggest games. I'm going to cover those games and all the other games within the top 25 right now. Yeah, time to bring it down again. Hey, good morning, it's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching, I really appreciate it also. And two, up today, the top 25 preview. I'm going to run through the entire schedule and preview and give you a prediction against the spread for every single game this weekend involving a top 25 team. Of course, I do an SEC preview every Tuesday, so there won't be any SEC teams covered in today's video. If you want to see my preview and predictions for this week's SEC matchups, click back and watch yesterday's video, or if I can remember, I'll put a link up top here. You can just click on that. Per usual, this preview and prediction video is sponsored by the good people over at betnow.eu. There's a link in the description of this video. Click that link and it'll take you over there. They're going to get you set up for all your college football betting needs. They've even given me a promo code to let you guys use. So when you get signed up over there, make sure you enter the bonus code Uncle Lou. That's one word and all lowercase letters, Uncle Lou, and they're going to give you a 100% bonus on whatever you deposit. Good luck. All right, here we go. We're going to jump right in. Hope everybody has a happy and safe Halloween today. If you got little ones, I hope they have a good time and everyone stays safe. Go out and get yourselves a bunch of candy. Okay, per usual, we're going to start with the 12 o'clock games and we're going to run all the way through the prime time games. There's even a couple of Thursday, or actually a Thursday and Friday night game too involving ranked teams. So I'll make sure and mention those in this video as well. All right, Thursday night, 7:30 over on ESPN. You got Temple going on the road to take on Central Florida, UCF. They're going to be mad, aren't they? I don't really know why they're mad, though. They're going to be mad that they're ranked 12th in the first college football poll that came out this past week. Of course, they're undefeated. They were undefeated last year. They feel disrespected still. But let's look at it in context. Okay, last year at this point, they were undefeated. First college football playoff poll came out, and UCF was ranked 18th. They managed to make it all the way up to 12th by the final college football poll. That's an improvement of 6 spots last year from the first playoff poll to the last playoff poll. This year, they start at 12. The same form holds true, and they went out, and they move up 6 spots again. That would put them 6th in the final poll. But, of course, the most important thing for Central Florida, they need to win all their games. They're not making the college football playoff. I don't know if they think they are. I don't know if any of you guys watching think they are, think they deserve it, but they're not. Their strength of schedule is ridiculous. It is what it is. They're not making the playoff, but they're 12th in the first college football playoff poll. They host Temple at home, primetime, 7:30. And I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying about Central Florida all year long. I've taken Central Florida in every game this year and laid the points. And I've won a lot more than I've lost there with them. They're looking to prove a point every single week, right? Because of the playoff situation. They can't afford to just go out and beat teams by 3 or 4 points, right? If they can beat a team by 100, they're going to beat them by 100. Temple, better than a lot of people think they are, but they're not on Central Florida's level. Obviously, I wish this was 9.5 instead of 10.5. And we still got some question marks about Central Florida quarterback McKenzie Milton, who I think is one of the most underrated dual-threat quarterbacks in America. The guy is just lights out. Didn't play in the last game. Real hush-hush about what's going on with him down there. We'll see if he suits up on Thursday and plays. It's 10.5. It's at home for Central Florida. It's prime time. They're mad about the playoff poll. Give me UCF. I'll lay the 10.5. Like I said, I'll be right laying points with UCF way more times than I'll be wrong. All right, Friday night, Pitt goes on the road to take on Virginia. Virginia comes in at 25 in the first college football playoff poll that came out yesterday. This game, 7:30 ESPN2 Friday night. Pittsburgh, pretty good team. Above average, I would say. Elite, no. But they've got a couple of quality wins. They beat Syracuse, who's a pretty good team. Close loss to Notre Dame. Virginia's 7.5-point favorite. They've got wins against teams like UNC and Duke. Those are their last 2 wins. Neither one of these teams are great. It's 7.5. It's at Virginia. If this was 6.5, maybe I'd take the home team here. 7.5 just seems like too much to me in a matchup of teams that I actually think are pretty even talent-wise. Virginia probably wins this game, but I'm going to take the road team and give me the 7.5 points here. All right, on to the Saturday games. We'll start with noon and go up through prime time. But several noon games here, starting off with Louisville on the road at Clemson. Clemson, of course, second in the playoff poll that came out yesterday. This game, 12 o'clock over on ABC. Clemson is a 38.5-point favorite. That's a ton of points. Ever since Clemson made that change to Trevor Lawrence, though, something seems to have clicked with the Clemson offense, with the exception of the first game he started, which, of course, was Syracuse. He got injured in that game. Syracuse is a pretty good team. Clemson struggled with them all game long, winning in the end. A win, really, that when we look back, we may say saved Clemson's season. But since that game, Lawrence came back and has been absolutely lights out. He throws for 300 yards every time he comes out, 3-4 touchdowns a game. Clemson's offense is really rolling. They got a good running back in that Etienne guy, whatever's now. I don't speak French. I do like freedom fries, though. But Clemson's been rolling. Louisville is an absolutely terrible team. I mean, they are beyond bad. It's head-scratching how bad Louisville is. And you look and you say, well, that Lamar Jackson, I mean, we knew he was good, but Jesus, he must have been their entire team. They're just really, really bad. 38.5, a lot of points, though. I mean, couldn't you see this being like a 45-10 type of game? That would only be 35. I can't believe I'm doing this. Louisville's really bad. I'm going to take Louisville, though. This is nothing against Clemson, but, man, 38.5 in a conference matchup here, that is a lot of points here. Clemson might win 50-0. I don't know. I'm going to take Louisville here. I don't really feel good about this one, though. 38.5 is a lot of points. I could really see this being like a 45-10 type of game, though. Give me Louisville, and I definitely need every one of those 38 points, and the half, too. All right, now still at noon, Nebraska goes on the road to take on the brain cysts of Ohio State. Ohio State 10th in the first college football playoff poll that came out yesterday. This one, 12 o'clock on Fox. I'll hold off on the Urban Meyer health jokes until we get more information. But, I mean, listen, this guy has made his own bed with this kind of thing. He's just going to have to sleep in it for the time being. That's just, what he lay down with dog. I'm surprised to get fleas, whatever analogy you want to use, right? The guy left Florida after he figured out half his team was active gang members and murderers. He dips out, makes up this thing about how he's got some kind of heart condition and he's got to retire. A year later, he's head coach at Ohio State. Now here we go. All this domestic abuse stuff comes out right before the season starts. He's suspended for 3 games. Can't answer simple questions about things relating to the investigation. Deletes a bunch of text messages off his phone. They ask him, why'd you delete the text message? I don't know. I've got memory issues. Meanwhile, you're making $7 million a year to be the head coach at one of the most prominent football universities in America, and you expect the average person to believe you've got memory problems so bad that you can't remember why you deleted hundreds of text messages right when an investigation was announced into you. You expect us to believe that you don't sit down, you and your wife don't share information back and forth about things related to your team. I mean, you're just asking people to believe the unbelievable here. Then you go out and get absolutely mollywopped, curb stomped, whatever you want, monkey stomped, whatever you want to call it, to Purdue. They're still running up and down the field on you, scoring touchdowns. Your offense was pitiful and pathetic in that game. 73 pass attempts. What are you doing? You absolutely run off the field. Now, here we are. Suddenly, Urban Meyer's got another dire medical situation here. There's been rumors that ever since this thing happened at the beginning of the year, he wasn't happy with the way his administration handled it and his president. There's tension between the athletic director and the president and head coach Urban Meyer. Now, the players don't really like Urban Meyer. They'd rather play for Ryan Day, who was the acting head coach while Meyer was suspended the first 3 games. And it's just a huge mess up there. And the point is, do I know if Urban Meyer really has a brain cyst? No, I don't. But that's what the latest is this week. He's got a brain cyst. So we'll leave that alone for now. Point is, they're a 17.5-point favorite against Nebraska. Nebraska, a huge win last week against a culinary school, some Bethune Cooking College or whatever it was called. I don't know. I talked about that on a live stream last night, and I'm more confused after talking about it than I was before. I can't give 17.5 points with Ohio State right now, not with the shape that program is in and the cloud hanging over Urban Meyer and whatever health conditions he has or doesn't have. Whatever, I don't know. It looks like it's his last year at Ohio State to me. Did you see his press conference this week? What a clown show that was. Hey, Urban, there's a bunch of rumors that you may be leaving Ohio State after this year, and I'm sure you want to put those to rest. So, do you want to go ahead and tell us, what your plans are for next year? I plan on coaching. Yeah, okay, but do you plan on coaching at Ohio State? I plan on coaching. Yeah, well, get a brain cyst taken care of first, though. Anyway, give me the Cornhuskers and the 17.5 though in 2. This one seems like easy money to me. Am I wrong? 12 o'clock on the ACC network, whatever the hell that is. You probably have to find this one on the internet to watch ESPN app. I don't know. Number 19, Syracuse on the road at Wake Forest. Syracuse a 5-point favorite. 5 or 15? Nope, 5. Give me Syracuse. Wake Forest is a bad team. I don't like them at all this year. They got absolutely destroyed a few weeks back by the Taters. Syracuse is not going to beat them that bad, but Syracuse is a good team here. 5 points, less than a touchdown. I'll take Syracuse in this one all day long at the 5 points. Wake Forest can have that. Boy, this is a fun one to talk about here, ain't it? Number 24, Iowa State on the road at Kansas. This was also at noon. Good luck finding this one on TV, too. You better off waiting on smoke signals to find out a score on this game. You can count the number of people that care about it on one hand also in 2. But Kansas beat TCU, right? But they've lost 4 of their last 5. They're still a bad team. Iowa State's 14.5-point favorite. Bad news for Iowa State. Got to go on the road. Man, it's hard to win at Iowa State, ain't it? Iowa State's got the best home. Did you know Iowa State's got the best home field advantage in all college football? They haven't lost a home game. Hell, I don't remember the last time they lost a home game, to be honest. But it was a really, really long time ago, though. Last time Iowa State lost a home game, people were watching it on a 4x3 TV. If that tells you anything, which it probably doesn't. That's how long ago it was. But Iowa State got to go on. Now, if Kansas playing at Iowa State, forget it. Iowa State win 250 to 11, something like that. But Iowa State on the road, 14.5. That's over 2 touchdowns. But it's Kansas, though. Yeah, I'll still take Iowa State, though, later points. All right, I must have got too much sleep. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little out of control today here. With some of these predictions here. But how about number 13, West Virginia on the road at number 17, Texas? This is the game of the week, not involving SEC teams, right? Man, this is a big-time game, and people can't hardly talk about it because of the two huge games in the SEC this weekend. Check yesterday's video for more information on that. And also, I'm going to have a video tomorrow afternoon, too. I might as well mention that now. But I'm going to have a video tomorrow afternoon, too, specifically about the Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, Kentucky game. So look for that tomorrow afternoon. I have to do that. So 13 West Virginia on the road at Texas. Texas is ranked 17th. 3:30 on Fox. Texas is a 2-point favorite here. This is a hard one to pick, man. I mean, this is a coin flip to me. I do think West Virginia's looked like a better team this year overall. If you take the entire body of work here, West Virginia's got the 1 loss, but guess who they lost to? You guessed it, Iowa State. Yeah, Texas, what they do? Well, they beat Oklahoma, lose to Maryland, go on the road, lose to Oklahoma State. The best thing about Texas losing to Oklahoma State, though, it gave us this priceless post-game press conference from none other than the mullet man himself. I'm 40, which now he's about 50. Mike Gundy.
How vital was it to you that he gets off to a good start in this game?
Criticism where? From where?
Outside noise.
From where?
Twitter, radio.
Yeah. Oh, I'd give a rat's about Twitter. It's a platform for people that are sitting home drawing an unemployment check, sitting in front of a keyboard. I'm not disregarding what you're saying. Trust me, I get it at my own house. But, I just kind of felt like that social media and Twitter's what's destroying this country anyway. So that's how I feel about it, from politics to sports to whatever. It gives people a platform to bitch, and then other people are like needling it, and they're sitting at home, and they're late on a payment. So, anyway, that's how I feel.
Yeah, so West Virginia at Texas. Texas 2-point favorite. I flip-flop back and forth on this one a whole lot. I really like West Virginia. Texas is in a do-or-die situation right now. They got 2 losses. They're already out of it for playoff contention. If they lose another game here, they're out of it, in my opinion, for the Big 12. It'll come down to West Virginia and Oklahoma. I think Texas shows up this week. This will be the toughest game West Virginia's played all year without question. Their strength of schedule is kind of pitiful up to this point, to be honest. No disrespect to West Virginia fans here. I'm not going to talk any trash about West Virginia. West Virginia's been better than I thought they would. I knew their offense would be great. West Virginia's defense has played above their potential, in my opinion, this year. Texas is a good defense too, though. I'm only doing this because they're the home team. But yeah, go ahead and hook them up and give me the Longhorns at the -2. All right, how about a Big Ten game? Number 16, Iowa goes on the road to Purdue. This game 3:30 over on ESPN2 here. And also, Purdue's a 2.5-point favorite in this one. What's Iowa done? Well, they 6-2, right? But their only losses are Penn State and Wisconsin. Wisconsin disappointing, but still, those aren't terrible teams. So they lost to a couple of good teams. But then look at their wins are against teams like Maryland, Indiana, Minnesota. So basically, Iowa's beaten the lower half of the Big Ten and lost to the upper half of the Big Ten. Where does Purdue fall in that spectrogram? I don't know. Purdue's won 4 of their last 5 games, beat Ohio State, lost to Michigan State last week in a close one there. Sort of expected that after a big emotional home win against Ohio State, come out kind of lay an egg against Michigan State. Michigan State didn't live up to the hype this year, but still a pretty good team. This is at Purdue. They're only a 2.5-point favorite. That's less than a field goal. Iowa doesn't really have any. I mean, this is the game all year Iowa's been losing. Iowa plays a pretty good team, they lose. They play a pretty bad team, they win. I think Purdue's a pretty good team. They're at home. Yeah, boil her up, though. Choo-choo! Yeah, don't watch this game, Ohio State, but give me Purdue later 2.5. Oh, boy. What about Florida State on the road at NC State? Well, Florida State's not winning. We already know that. I mean, might as well forfeit the rest of their games and start worrying about next year. NC State ranked number 21. They're a 8-point home favorite here, 3:30 on ABC. Bad news, Florida State getting humiliated on national television on ABC for the second week in a row here. This is bad. Florida State is just absolutely terrible. NC State, I'm taking NC State here. Zero chance I'm putting a dime on Florida State the rest of the year. They've just given up. They're terrible. They're horrible, awful, whatever you want to use to describe them. They're that bad. NC State, not elite. Of course, started out 5-0. Got whipped up pretty good by Clemson. Still ranked 21, though. But they'll win this one. Florida State is just terrible. Give me the Wolfpack. Florida State can have the 8. Hell, they can have 18. All right, another possible playoff elimination game here. Michigan's going to have a lot of these coming up over the next few weeks. Had one against Michigan State a couple of weeks ago. But number 14, Penn State on the road at 5th-ranked Michigan. Michigan's a 10.5-point favorite, 3:45 on ESPN. Man, this game should be on ABC, and this Florida State game should be on ESPN. Maybe it'll be flip-flop depending on where you live. But what's Penn State, 6-2? Listen, Penn State 6-2, right? A lot of people writing them off, and I get it. 2 losses, probably not making a playoff. Definitely not making a playoff. Penn State's 2 losses are by a combined 5 points. Lost by 1 point to Ohio State, and lost by 4 points to whoever it was, at Michigan State, whoever it was. Anyway, 2 losses by a total of 5 points. So, they're close to being undefeated. Close don't count. I get it. But point is, Penn State's still a pretty good team. A win over a good Iowa team last week. Michigan, of course, with just the 1 loss week 1 at Notre Dame. Michigan has the best loss in all of college football in terms of the top 10 teams, right? If you look at who teams have lost to, this is a really good loss, in my opinion, that Michigan. Georgia's got a good loss, too, at LSU. Would LSU come in 3rd? Playoff poll, Notre Dame came in 4th, so technically Georgia's got a better loss, but Georgia lost by 20. The Michigan-Notre Dame game was close. But anyway, getting off track, none of that matters here. Michigan 10.5-point favorite. Michigan's offense, hard to get a gauge on it. I do think their offense is better than what we saw last year. I mean, Shea Patterson is a definite upgrade at quarterback position versus what they had. Defense absolutely lights out. The offense not doing really as well as I thought it would do this year with Shea Patterson. I mean, they scored 20 on Northwestern, 21 on Michigan State. You got several games where you're scoring in the low 20s. I mean, yeah, you've got some games where you sort of blew up offensively, but it was against really bad teams. 10.5 is a lot of points here. I know it's at Michigan. I'm going to take Penn State. I do think Michigan will win this game. I've been kind of riding the Michigan train for a while here. I do think Michigan will win this game, but 10.5 is too much in my mind. I mean, can't you see this being like a 24-20 type of game, 24-21, 23-17, somewhere in that range there, even a 10 point, even 24-14. 10.5 just seems like too much. I'm going to take the road team here. Give me the Nittany Lions, but I'm going to need those 10.5 points. All right, how about Boston College at Virginia Tech? And Boston College is the team that's ranked. They're 22nd, Virginia Tech not ranked. Boston College, a 2-point road favorite in this one, 3:45. This one, where's this? ACC Network again. Good luck finding that garbage. Boston College, 6-2, right? Who'd they lose to? Purdue and NC State, 2 pretty good teams. Running back Dillon, great running back, this Dillon. I have a feeling, though, they may award this guy out. Dillon is he's like a Cam Petaway or Kerryon Johnson from Auburn. from the last couple of years where they give this guy the ball 25, 30 times a game. He looks great in September and October. End of October, November rolls around. It just sort of starts to run out of gas. Only so much tread on these tires. Benny Snell, talking to you. Kentucky fans, you'll find out soon enough. Don't worry, you'll find out in 3 or 4 days. But Kentucky scored 3 offensive touchdowns total in the last 3 games. 3, not 3 per game, 3 total. Benny Snell, touchdown Terry. Yeah, more interception. I'm getting off track. I'll invite you to come get some on Friday, Kentucky. No, don't worry. Plenty more to say about you, neckbeards. Anyway, where was I? I don't know. Boston College at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech 4-3, disappointing, blown out by Georgia Tech. Couldn't figure out the triple option. But you know what, though? I'm going to take the home team here, Virginia Tech. Again, I think this is a matchup of 2 pretty even teams. I'm going to say Virginia Tech rebounds after that beatdown they took from Georgia Tech. I'm not completely sold on Boston College, and I think Dylan, like I mentioned, not quite as doesn't quite have what he had in the beginning of the year. Give me the Hokies at home and the 2 points. Is Utah the best team in the Pac-12, or is it Washington State? Probably going to find out here pretty soon. But anyway, number 15. Washington State already beat Utah. Anyway, again, who cares? Utah ranked 15th on the road at Arizona State, 4 p.m. Try to find this one on TV if you can. I don't know. Utah 6-2, lost to Washington State and Washington. Arizona State, disappointing. I don't know what else. I mean, you lost to Sanford, Colorado, Washington. You beat Southern Cal. Congratulations. You beat Oregon State. Congratulations. 2 terrible teams. This Whittingham coach, though, for Utah, underrated. Nobody talks about it. This guy's a good coach. Obviously, they're having a pretty good year this year, ranked 15th. But hey, if you go back 2, 3, 4 years, this Whittingham's put some pretty good teams on the field. And let's be real, Utah's not recruiting at an elite level. So the fact that they're doing what they're doing, you got to give some credit to this guy. This guy, Whittingham, beat UCLA last week 41-10. 7.5, not enough points against Arizona State. I've been disappointed in them. Very disappointed in Arizona State and Arizona for that matter. I'm going to take Utah and lay to 7.5. I'm buying on Utah right now. Upset alert! Upset alert! Woo! Woo! Whatever you want to do. Number 4, Notre Dame on the road at Northwestern. 7:15 on ESPN. Notre Dame's a 9-point favorite. The Notre Dame hate parade is a mile long. Listen, I thought people hated Uncle Lou. Pales in comparison to the hate for Notre Dame. People want this. I don't like Notre Dame either. But it's the blind hatred that gets me, like so blind you can't recognize what's really going on. Notre Dame is a legitimate team this year. Okay, look at their lines of scrimmage. All right, their offensive and defensive lines look like any line, offensive or defensive line you'd see in the SEC. They're legitimate up front on both sides of the ball. They changed quarterbacks a month or so ago. Now they have an elite offense, in my opinion, at least an elite thrower of the football. Northwestern's been underwhelming to me this year, but it's been playing better lately. And speaking of quarterbacks, they got this guy, Clayton Thorson. Looked great last year, right? Blew his knee out towards the end of the season. Real quick turnaround time. He actually started week 1 this year, played against Purdue. But he didn't really look like his old self. This is a runaround type guy. I mean, he's a pocket passer. He can sit there and sling the ball around, but he can get out and move, too. He likes to run. He'll escape some pressure type of thing. First month or so of the season, he really didn't look like his old self. But if you watch Northwestern play any over the last couple of weeks and compare it to what you saw from Northwestern in the beginning of the season, looks like this guy Thorson finally getting back to the Thorson we saw last year, especially the last 2 games. I don't know if it's because physically his knee is just now getting back up to where it was, or if it just took him a while mentally, which is not a knock on Thorson. You hear this all the time with knee injuries. A lot of times guys physically will be back to 100% way before they're back to 100% mentally. It's hard to trust yourself when you go through an injury like that, but he's looked pretty good the last couple of weeks. So these Notre Dame haters going to be wearing their purple Northwestern hats this weekend. 9 points. Notre Dame's had some close wins. I mean, listen, Notre Dame, what did they do? Blew out Stanford. And then, 20-something point win, I think it was, over Virginia Tech. They had some close wins, too. Was it Syracuse, I think? Was it Syracuse, or who was it? Vandy. Vandy, close win over Vandy. And there was another team, too, and it's just completely escaping me right now. I should have wrote it down, but I'm an idiot, so I didn't. But a couple of close wins. I think this will be another one. I do think Notre Dame will win. I think it'll be closer than 9 points, though. I'm going to take the home team, underdog. Give me Northwestern and those 9 points. All right, Oklahoma goes on the road. Big 12 matchup at Texas Tech, 8 o'clock on ABC. Boys, my pickings must be slim this week for them 8 o'clock ABC game. I guess that's what happens when all the best games are over on CBS this week because of the SEC. But, yeah, Oklahoma ranked 7th in the playoff polls, a 13.5-point favorite on the road at Texas Tech. You mean to tell me I can get Oklahoma under 2 touchdowns against Texas Tech? Sign me up. I'm telling you right now, the two best bets of the week I've seen so far are Georgia, if you can get them under 10. And yesterday when I did the video, they were 9.5. I haven't checked today. But if you can get Georgia as a 9.5 point favorite or less as opposed to 10 or more, put half your money there. Put the other half of your money on Oklahoma minus 13.5. I'm no Oklahoma fan. Defense terrible. Kyler Murray, offense not as good as last year. They got some injuries at the running back position, but their offense is going to move the ball up and down the field, especially on Texas Tech. This team ain't got no defense at all, this Texas Tech. Oklahoma might score 60 points in this game, and I'm not joking. I'll gladly take Oklahoma. I would lay 23.5 here. 13.5, I don't get it. Something smells funny to me. Usually that's a sign it's a trap, ain't it?
It's a trap.
I'm going to fall for it. Give me Oklahoma, lay to 13.5. Boy, I hate what they ranked this team, so you got to talk about Fresno State, right? Ranked 23rd on the road at UNLV, 1030 CBS Sports Network. I don't know a whole lot about either one of these teams. Just going to be honest. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend to be an expert on UNLV, but they're 2-6. Fresno State is 7-1, and they've won the majority of their games in the 30-point range. This is 25. I'm going to take Fresno State here. I would stay away from. I don't know enough about this. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know enough about these teams. I looked into them a little bit here before I made the video, but come on, it's Fresno State and UNLV. But Fresno State does have a lot of wins in the 25 to 35 point range. UNLV is terrible with 2 wins. I'm going to take Fresno State and lay to 25. All right, is Washington State going to lose another game and eliminate themselves? What are they, 7-1, 8-1? Really the last hope in the Pac-12 for any type of playoff berth, right? Now, I don't think it's going to happen. I've been telling you guys for a month, Pac-12 not making it to the playoffs. I told you in the preseason, but I just don't believe in the Pac-12 this year. But Washington State is ranked 8th in the first poll. They're 7-1, 8-1, whatever they are. They're a 10-point home favorite against Cal. I do think Washington State will probably lose another game this season, even if it's in the Pac-12 title game. But not this week. Washington State will roll in this one by way more than 10, I think. What's going to hurt Washington State? They could win out and finish 12 and win the Pac-12 title game and be 12-1. Who would they have beaten in the Pac-12? A bunch of 3 and 4 lost nobodies. And then you look at their non-conference schedule: Wyoming, San Jose State, and Eastern Washington. Terrible non-conference schedule here. Say what you want about some of these non-cons in the SEC. Alabama played Louisville, a Power 5 non-con. Georgia plays Georgia Tech, a Power 5 non-con. Now, you can say they're not any good if you want, but the point is you picked 3 people nobody's ever heard of: Wyoming, San Jose State, and Eastern. Well, the only thing anybody knows about Eastern Washington is that Colin Cowherd went there. And if that's their claim to fame, I don't know if that's anything to be proud about. But anyway, I'm going to take the Bigfoots, the aliens, the flat earthers, and the weather manipulators. Give me Mike Leach, lay the 10 points. All right, that's it. That's preview and prediction for all the top 25 teams in action this week in college football, minus, of course, the SEC teams, which I previewed yesterday. I'm going to do another one of these preview videos tomorrow where I cover teams that don't fit into either of the other 2 categories. They're not SEC teams, and they're not ranked, but they're teams of interest to me for one particular reason or another. Teams like, I don't know, Georgia Tech, Miami, whatever. Teams that are interesting to me. You get it. Subscribe to the Uncle Lou channel if you're not already. I post college football videos almost every single day of the year, and a lot of times they're even watchable. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about my predictions. Where am I right? More importantly, where am I wrong? No live show today. I usually do a live show at 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. It's Halloween. My kids get home from school around that time. I'm going to take today off from the live show to get them started with their Halloween and their trick-or-treating and all that. So the live show schedule for the remainder of the week: Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern, Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Also doing a live stream for Patreon members during the second half of the Georgia-Kentucky game this week. Game comes on at 3:30. So I will start the live stream at halftime of the Georgia-Kentucky game, and I will live stream the second half of the Georgia-Kentucky game for all the Patreon members. That live stream will be done on YouTube, but it'll be a private, unlisted video available only to the Patreon members. So I'll post a link over on the Patreon page at halftime. If you're a Patreon member, all you got to do is click that link. It'll take you right to the live stream, and we can watch the second half of the Georgia-Kentucky game together. If you're not joined up on the Patreon page and you want to support the channel, I would really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and big shout out to all you guys who have joined up over there. I can't tell you how much it means to me. But if you're not on there and you want to be, there's a link in the description of this video that says want to support the channel and win a jersey, I think is what it says. I give a jersey away once a month to a Patreon member. It's just a random drawing we do once a month. Everybody in the Patreon page, name is in the hat, so to speak. I mean, I do it on the computer, but you get what I'm saying. It's like a raffle. We give a jersey away once a month. We do that the first Friday of every month, so we'll have one coming up, next week, I guess. Yeah. But if you want to join up, just click that link in the description of this video. It'll take you over there and get yourself signed up. I would really appreciate it. But that's it. Again, happy Halloween. Stay safe. Have a lot of fun, and have a great morning, too.